Welcome to the Backyard Professor Responds videos. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done these. 3i Atlas is acting weird. This thing is, I think without question, positively an anomaly for a comet. Now, here several weeks ago, I said I was 100% certain it was a comet. And I never did explain that. I meant as opposed to a UFO disc flying saucer alien mothership. This is a natural rock, whatever you want to call it, asteroid. I don't care what you want to call it. I still don't think it's a UFO or that it's alien. Now, artificial. That gives us something interesting. Is it a part of a planet that exploded? We don't know. Is it part of an ancient metal city that was blown up in wars way past and it's just accumulated all this junk and rock and dust for millions and millions of years around it, and we're seeing the remnants of something artificial? I don't know. None of us do. I still do not believe there is an intelligence behind this that is a craft of some kind, or a probe, or a secret spy mission, or what have you. That being said, now that it's approached perihelion, closest to the sun, and it's coming out from the sun, at first, early this morning, they were really seeing some weird things. The amateur astronomers are taking photos of this. NASA is still stupidly hiding their photo. What good are they? It's sad that the politics interferes with the science. I am 100,000% behind Avi Loeb on that one. It should not interfere with science, and yet it does. So we'll rely on others. But 3i Atlas had 5 different angled tails coming out of it, streams, whatever you want to call it. At one time this morning, they thought 3i Atlas had broke apart. And now I don't think that's the case. I think it's still intact. It's still got the coma around it, the core, etc. But it is giving us some wild, crazy anomalies, I have to confess. It still has an anti-tail. Now, being perihelion to the sun, closest to the sun, the effect of the solar winds on this thing should be absolutely enormous. It should have a huge tail going away from the sun. Instead, we have 5 different protrudences of it at different angles. What could cause this? Heavens, who knows? None of us know. It's a head scratcher. This 3i Atlas has been exciting for that reason, because so many anomalies are going on. And there's so many fake, hokey, BS AI channels out right now, completely misinforming everyone. When I'll give you some hints. 3i divided Atlas. It doesn't matter if it has Avi Loeb's on there talking, his face and portrait. If he says 3i divided Atlas, it's AI, turn it off. If it says 3i divided Atlas, it's AI, turn it off. They do not have accurate information. That's what turned me off of this whole 3i Atlas thing. There are a few pages a few YouTube channels who are keeping track in person on the 3-eye atlas. And now it's getting weird enough. I'm ready to pick this back up. I am not going to quit doing my esoteric studies. I would hope more people would like to find out more about that as well, but I am not giving up on the UFO material either. But 3-eye atlas is not UFO material. Unidentified flying object. If it's not a comet, what is it? In that sense, it's UFO. When I say UFO, I mean intelligent alien gray or an Arcturian or a Pleiadian flying an actual created, manufactured metallic craft. No, it's nothing like that. There's fundamentally no evidence for any of that noise. So I don't buy into that at all. But what I do buy into is this thing is acting really different. Now, and again, it is from interstellar space. It's not from our neighborhood. It's been, I mean, its speed is really an anomaly too, compared to the other comets that we've had come in. So this is quite an interesting situation. Now, several days ago, the thing turned blue. And of course, people started jumping on the blue Kachina Hopi prophecy. I don't think it's still blue now, though. That was just for a couple of days. And I have no idea if it's supposed to always be a solid blue or not. The impression I get from the Hopi prophecy is that it will always remain blue throughout its tenure in our sky, right? I don't know that. Here's the thing I've discovered, and I've got to try to find this if you doubt me. There is another site that has tracked down the provenance of the Hopi prophecy, return of the blue Kachina, and it is a recent prophecy. We need to quit saying the ancient Hopis prophesied this. They did not. It is recent, and I mean like as in 1980 recent, the idea of the blue Kachina coming back prophecy. It is not way ancient and been handed down. There is no evidence of that. And we first begin to hear of it in the 1980s, and then it was really picked up in the 1990s. And that puts a big question mark in my mind. Now, of it being an ancient prophecy. However, there's nothing saying that the Great Spirit could not talk to a Hopi elder right now and tell them, keep an eye out for the return of the blue Kachina. I'm not against that at all. And so maybe it's that. But there are nuances here. We don't know if 1 or 2 days being blue and now it's back to normal, apparently. We don't know if that fulfills that prophecy or not. My impression of it is we will see it as blue originally, and it will remain blue all the way here. And I'm open to correction. I don't know where to turn because of the ambiguity involved in this. 1, the time scale, and 2, the actual description, the length of time it is supposed to have, those characteristics, etc. A lot of that seems to be somewhat slippery to me, so I have not jumped on that bandwagon. I would like to if it would get me 1 million views, but I don't do that kind of stuff. I'm not interested in the views. I'm interested in truth and reality, whatever that turns out to be. So I'm going to stick with evidence as best I know how. Yes, it's fun to speculate, and I will identify when I speculate. for now, I will just say unequivocally, this three-eye atlas thing is really bizarre. And that's what makes it so much fun. And again, if I might add my 2 cents worth, sincerely, there is not a scientist on our planet right now that is horrified, terrified, I'm terrified. All that's just bunk. They're thrilled. They're very puzzled, without question. Who's not puzzled by this three-eye atlas thing? This thing is truly bizarre, but there's no horror, there's no terror. Now, interestingly, there's a volcano that's been spouting off. Stefan Burns has been talking about that a little bit, and he's got some interesting stuff with the current sunspot cycles and the sun flares and all that. Our sun is very active because apparently there's the flipping of the, I can't remember what he called it. Anyway, the sun is at the end of one of its cycles, 11-year cycles, and so it's super duper active right now. And that is quite interesting. It does coincide with all of this cometary, quote, cometary activity in our skies. There's been quite a few actual comets here. We still probably can identify three-eye atlas as a comet, but a lot of people are starting to get offended by that. So we don't know what it is, but I really don't believe it's a UFO, intelligent guided mothership that they're steering somehow with either a steering wheel or a bar or with their minds or whatever. And they have arms and legs like us, and they're creatures with big eyes. And no, that scenario is just not even close, in my opinion. So far as I'm aware, the Loeb scale still stays at 40%. And it probably should go down. At this point, even with the incredibly fun and interesting anomalies and the speculation of the angry astronaut and Stefan Burns and others, it's a remarkably interesting thing, but there's no hard, fast conclusions yet. So, so far as I am aware, the claims that, well, this thing has been dropping off probes or else it's spraying some kind of a spray out there so that when Earth in our orbit goes through it, we're going to be sprayed like bugs and all that noise. I just honestly am not convinced that's what it's done. I get it that there's outgassing a little bit, not nearly as much as there should be, which, quite frankly, is an incredibly interesting anomaly. It should, but it's not. It's kept its tight coma around it, which is quite remarkable. So that's my latest on Three-Eye Atlas. I'm keeping my eye on it. I thought I'd just bump in here and say, now that it's out past the sun, from around the sun, and we can see it again, sure enough, it's showing us even yet more anomalies. 5 different jets in different directions. It's crazy. Something else. So we'll keep you tuned, and thanks for watching the Backyard Professor Responds videos. Now back to the really good stuff and the more important stuff. Instead of all this speculation, how do we prepare for a change, a paradigm shift in our reality? That's what my J.R.R. Tolkien and the world literature materials are all about. Because if you're not prepared here and here, it doesn't matter how much speculation you believe or disbelieve. When the reality hits, you won't be able to handle it. That's what I hope we can prepare for, because, in my opinion, I believe that day is coming. And doggone it, I wish this wasn't true. I don't have a lot of evidence, but I am speculating. However, I am seriously afraid it's going to happen within my lifetime. I hope I'm wrong, but I fear for my children and grandchildren. So there is a shift coming, and we have to do what we can to prepare for it. And the key is going to be here not just here. So thanks for watching the BYP Responds videos. I'll be back with a lot more. Have a great night. Good to see y'all.